Tales of Ravenford. The Baron's Heart Excerpt by F.P. Spirit. Narrated by Alexander P. Wender.
Axel climbed cautiously down the steep basement steps, waiting for his eyes to adjust to the dim light. Elodin's dancing lights had long since run out, leaving just a glow from a few scattered torches. Still, his gnomish vision was better adapted to the dark than a human's. The cellar was empty. There was no trace of the poisonous green cloud that had erupted from the vault and driven them from the basement. The little gnome gingerly sniffed the air. Even the noxious odor that accompanied the cloud was gone.
"Is it safe?"
Lloyd whispered from behind him.
"As far as I can tell,"
Axel murmured over his shoulder. An eerie silence surrounded the duo as they trod carefully across the floor. They passed the boulder, the stone golem as motionless as a statue, its glowing eyes fixed on the open vault doorway. Qualtan's body still lay at its feet, in the same exact position they had left it. Axel nudged his head at the body and whispered, "Why don't you drag that over to the door while I take a peek in the vault?"
"Be careful,"
Lloyd whispered as he sheathed his weapons. He grabbed the dead abbot's arms and slowly dragged him across the stone floor toward the exit to the outside. Meanwhile, Axel continued his slow advance. He halted in front of the entrance to the vault. Axel warily peeked inside, his keen eyes sweeping across the small room beyond. At first he saw nothing. Then his eyes fixed on a small cloud of dark vapor hovering near the second vault door. "Lloyd, we're not alone," Axel cried as he slowly backed away from the vault. The vaporous cloud followed him, changing as it went. It swiftly expanded into human form. A man dressed in black with long, dark hair, eerie red glowing eyes, and a pale complexion. The creature snarled at him, revealing two large fangs protruding from its upper jaw.
"Axel, get back!"
Lloyd cried from across the room. Yet before Axel could move, the creature lunged forward and grasped his arm in a vice-like grip. A strange sensation came over the little gnome. He felt as if a part of him was being pulled out of his body. A sudden weariness came over him, his head feeling light and his knees buckling. Abruptly, the creature let go. It vaulted backwards, hissing loudly as a flaming black blade swiped at the place where it had just been standing. Lloyd's tall form suddenly appeared in front of Axel, the blade in his right hand crackling with fire, the blade in his left glowing a brilliant white. Axel staggered backwards, his body weak and achy, as if he were sick. Even speaking felt like a chore, but he had to warn his friend. "Be careful, Lloyd. That's a true vampire." The tall man responded with the briefest of nods. The vampire and Lloyd slowly circled each other, the creature's red eyes fixed on the glowing white sword in its opponent's left hand. Abruptly, Lloyd feinted with his black blade, then lunged at the creature with his holy sword. The vampire underestimated Lloyd's speed, the warrior catching the creature in the shoulder before it could move out of the way. The blade left a gaping hole in the creature's shoulder, though no blood seeped out from the wound. The vampire hissed in a deadly voice as it pulled away.
"You'll regret that, mortal. I'll drain your life essence too."
Axel knew that was no idle threat. The creature moved in again, swiping at Lloyd from various angles while avoiding the holy blade. The young warrior scored numerous cuts with his flaming blade, but the vampire just shrugged them off. Each wound healed almost as quickly as it was made. Axel had to do something before the creature overcame Lloyd. With a great effort, he forced himself to stand straight. The little cleric then slowly backed away until he hit something solid. Axel gazed upward, the massive form of the boulder towering above him. At that same moment, the vampire finally broke through Lloyd's guard. It grabbed his wrist, twisting the black blade right out of his hand. Lloyd flailed at the creature with his gleaming white sword, forcing it to let go and draw back. Yet the damage had already been done. The young warrior staggered away, reeling as if the wind had been knocked out of him. The vampire bared its fangs in a wicked grin.
I told you I would drain you.
With frightening speed, the monster closed the distance between them. It knocked Lloyd's other blade from his hand and grasped him by the throat. Axel watched with horror as the young man slumped in the vampire's grasp, his skin visibly paling and dark circles forming beneath his eyes. Realizing it might already be too late, Axel gave in to gravity while grasping the golem's ring in his hand. He hit the floor with a thud, but forced himself to speak nonetheless. "Go help Lloyd."